and welcome, or welcome back, I suppose. A few months ago, I picked up a weird manga called Drip Drip and absolutely fell in love. As soon as I was done, given it's by the same author, I requested Beastars Volume 1 from my library. Now, I did have to put in a special request because it wasn't available in my local county, but I got it through, and there's never a guarantee with special requests, so I'm really glad I got it. I put a request in for Inuyasha Volume 2 as well at the same time, but that couldn't be found, so, sob. But I'll find a copy of 1 and 2, probably secondhand at some point, because sure, I can get it for not majorly expensive, but not super cheap either. Like, they're 3 books in 1 volume, I'm not expecting them to be cheap. Anyway, I don't think this is going to be a super long review, so let's just get right into talking about Beastars Volume 1 by Paru Itagaki. So this book is set at a high school with the pupils all being anthropomorphized animals, and these students are divided into 2 sections. In the book, they are often referred to as herbivores and carnivores, though in some versions of descriptions that I've seen, people often also say predator and prey, so that's the dynamic we're working with. Sure, friendships exist between the sides, but those threads start to run thin when one night a herbivore is murdered. And we find ourselves in the theatre club because the victim, and it would appear the killer, are/were a part of that club. And it's the killer we're following, that being a grey wolf called Legoshi. It's a short book, so a good rundown felt a bit necessary, so let's just get now right into my thoughts. And we don't even get into the actual story before I got myself hyped up. I love this kind of anthro design. I'm sure I'll get furry allegations for this, but screw it. I just think it's neat. I used to do this kind of stuff in secondary school, and I feel like I should do more. Who knows? Maybe you're watching me do that right now. In particular, I remember doing a couple of versions of a sort of horsehead, fox hunter body type thing, and I think it will be fun to revisit that. Now, I'm scripting this before I'm doing any kind of recording. My goal is to try to do that with Clip Studio, but I've never recorded anything with Clip Studio, so I don't know how it works. I love seeing this spread of characters, and because we are mostly in a theatre club, it feels like getting our cast list at the beginning, or a program. It feels like having a program sort of thing. It's just, I just think it's neat. I think it's nice. I really love this kind of anthro design, and to be honest, I straight up had zero clue what Beastars was about going in. I'm nothing if not dwarfy pilled, but that mostly meant I knew of Legoshi and that it is anthro animals. I had also definitely seen but had forgotten about Louis as well, but I didn't really know what it was about at all. So getting to that opening scene was so exciting, and for sure that excitement paid off. We have action from the off, starting out like a thriller, honestly. We're following an alpaca being hunted down, clearly by someone that they know. It's a genuinely frightening scene, and I love how we're thrown into that. It's just a case of when you don't know what's going on, really. And so many of my notes just consist of going ooh at various points, because Itagaki's style with storytelling and with the visual stuff, the way it all comes together, it's just gorgeous. From her simpler stuff in small panels to her sort of watercolor style with the covers and the bigger spreads, I love it so much. I just adore the way she uses things like hatching and screen tones in particular. I'm still getting the hang of stuff like that. I don't know if you will be seeing me use that sort of stuff. I don't think I will be trying to replicate her style, but there's just so much texture to it, and it's so dynamic. It's so good. Like, even in her more simpler, smaller designs, where it is just, well, at least it's mostly just inks, there's still so much it's got such a dynamic nature to it. One day I'll do a sort of, I think the right term is like a master study of her work, because it's so much of what I want to do if I do ever get around to doing graphic novel illustration type stuff, because I do want to do that. I want to take some of my work, I want to be able to illustrate it or create like graphic novels and things. That's one of my big goals, but I need to increase my skills, because I can do single pieces, but the ability to do stuff like this it's a very different skill. And also, look, finding out this is a bunch of theatre kids just makes a lot of things make sense to me. Like I said, I'd only ever heard about what this is, kind of in concept, and I don't know, just this being a theatre club, it tracked. Karina Drophy does not have theatre kid energy per se, but the way she was talking about Legoshi, yeah, him being in a theatre club fully tracks for me. The storytelling, like I said, it is just, there's only so many ways that I can say it was so good, it was brilliant, it's gorgeous. I love the way she uses the carnivore-herbivore dynamics. Obviously, they can coexist, especially in less tense times, but it's not unreasonable for the herbivores to be particularly on edge. They have particular distrusts, and you can't blame them. And we also see the ways that, it's clearly talking about class stuff in some areas, or like racial stuff. Like, there's a scene, I can't remember off the top of my head because I forgot to write about it, but where we have these rabbits, one of these rabbits comes back up later on in this scene with a hunt, and we see she's being hunted, and after this scene we see her basically being told, your kind of rabbit will never be with somebody like me, or like with a rabbit like this. And it's all just, it's so brilliant the way she brings stuff together, and she also does such a good job with Legoshi's characterization. Like, it's talking about his basic instincts, not like that, but he's clearly doing a lot to figure out if this killer is the real him. And I love seeing the way she shows this internal battle, and she does that through everything. I know, like, it's a graphic novel, everything should be done with both the text and visuals all coming together, but this is probably one of the best I've seen in a very long time, with the way everything comes together. It feels so cohesive. Like, the way she uses relatively simple imagery to create something stunning. A panel like this one with Legoshi's eyes in the back is like a movie poster. It does so much with, frankly, so little, and I just, man, I should take an illustration course. But, like, do I want to go back into academia? No. Should I find a course that doesn't require me to do things like going back into academia? Probably. Am I going to? Who knows? But the whole scene with the letter is a particular favourite of mine. It's basically, earlier on, we've seen Legoshi take something out of Tem, the alpaca who we saw being hunted by him at the beginning. We see him take something out of Tem's locker, and he is, later we see him with Els, who's, if I remember rightly, she is a sheep, but now off the top of my head I can't remember. But this whole scene, it's a great play with Elsa's expectations of Legoshi. It plays with what we might expect with him having been, what the fuck does that say? My handwriting is terrible, and I do intend on soon just stop typing things, because this keeps happening to me because I write quickly. it plays with what we might expect with him having been rooting into the victim's locker earlier. And just look at this panel, the angles, the hatching, the tones, all of it. I need to get good at illustrations beyond one-to-one copying reference, because this just makes me want to be a better artist. I want to make stuff dynamic like this. Bold angles, dynamic poses, all of it, simply magnificent. The thing is, to an extent, I know what I have to do. I know I have to get better at the technical side of it. I mean, not just knowing things like hatching and... I mean, my inking, that's just... I'm not bad at inks per se, especially more sort of dynamic stuff. That's actually something I've got a lot better at recently. But just things like anatomy and things like that, I've never spent time studying anatomy and gestures and line of action. It's stuff that I know in theory, but I've never been able to put it in practice well enough. But also sometimes, look, oh, she's just a little guy. I love this shot so much. It kills me. I want to put him in my pocket. I want to keep hold of him and just hold him in my little hands. He's so cute. But eventually we meet Louis. At least I think it's Louis. I have heard some people say Lewis, but to me, Louis is Louis. So yeah, we meet Louis. He is a deer, therefore he is a herbivore, and he's head of the theatre club and the lead actor in the production they're running. And we don't really learn much about the term Beastar in book 1, but it's very clear that that is a position he is in for, or is. I can't, again, look, a lot's been happening in my brain and in my life, so I'll be honest, my memory is worse than usual because I am stressed. But also it's me, so when am I not like this? But anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure he is either gunning for the spot of Beastar, or like that's the title he's currently got. It's like a top spot kind of thing, right? And he basically ends up wanting Legoshi to be a protector for him, and there's a dynamic there for sure. That little hook of the tail made me side eye this man, and like that only got more hello later on when he says this. Like, okay, I see you. Very flirty, and it's very fun. There's also a second hunt scene later on, without a kill this time, and it is so good watching Legoshi battle against himself, the apex predator taking over him, so to speak. Like, it's so tense. Though this panel did make me giggle a bit, if I'm honest, but the rest of the scene is genuinely fantastic. Once again, we're sort of taken back to that thriller element within a book that does not have thriller energy, and I think that is juxtaposition the right word there? I think so. I think that works so well. And we get a chapter break at the point where Legoshi grabs the herbivore he's hunting, a white rabbit, and in the little shot that is like the chapter cover type thing, the rabbit has a book called No Longer Animal, which is such a good little detail. I just went, mwah. Oh, I love stuff like that. And I was looking for it after that, and I didn't spot anything else like that, but maybe I wasn't paying enough attention. If/when I read book 2, I will almost definitely be on the lookout for more little details like that. I would like to read No Longer Human at some point, which is what that is a reference to, but I also know that it will fucking destroy me. But that whole scene where he has hold of the rabbit fighting his instinct is such a good scene. This is graphic novel storytelling at its best. It's pure tension, and you can feel that constriction and tightness, the physical struggle with the mental struggle of him trying to battle himself and battle his urges, and she's literally trying to fight this giant fuck off wolf off of her. Everything works so well together. This isn't just... Often I see even really good storytellers who are graphic novelists where things do not feel as cohesive as they do here. Like, there is a story, sure, being told with the medium that they have chosen to use, but it feels like this is the best medium Itagaki has. Like, it feels like this is just, it was made for her. It's absolutely brilliant. Also, this isn't a story thing. I just want you to look at Boss. Look at him. He's just a little guy. I think he's fun. I would like you to see him. But I got to the end and I was just like, wait, no, I need more. Like, immediately I'm requesting volume 2. I know I can't guarantee I can get it, but I need to find it. And the thing is, if I can't, I think I may have to start picking them up, because this was, you've listened to me talk for the past however long, like probably 15 minutes. So I might not have ended up doing, I might put a little clip in at the end here. Or whatever. I don't know what I'm going to do for art stuff. It might just have to be super sped up anyway. But, like, Itagaki might just become one of those authors where if I see them, I just go, need to read, no matter what. There are a few authors like that. I speak openly about my love of Lucy Diamond, very different stuff, but they're one of those authors where I'm like, if I see it, I will read it. And I will get on volume 2 as soon as I get it, in whatever way I do pick it up. But in the meantime, let me know what you're reading right now, and let me know one of those books where you sort of just picked it up and immediately devoured it in all of its work, and just all of it is and it just became this thing that you're like, I need to read everything else this author has done. Also, feel free to like, subscribe, put notifications on, and all that other cringe shit I'm supposed to ask you to do in my videos. But most importantly, I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful night, a wonderful whenever you are watching this. Take good care of yourselves. Right.